the backstretch at all tracks racing in ITSR. We
It's racing.
Exit the pits on the backstretch, even in practice and during yellows. If your significant other won't let you exit on the backstretch, just keep trying.
It's racing.
Vegas provides us with plenty of room to merge, but everyone still needs to stay
Remember
away.
that game, Daytona, USA?
You're under a 2 cause caution rule. If a yellow comes out and you were to cause it a caution, type in C in chat or announce it over the radio. Don't use any vulgarities. CJ blushes. Every caution will be claimed if no one steps up. It'll be reviewed after race, and if you're found to be the cause, you'll be penalized at the end of the longest line that you finished in. So an EOL during the race is better than waiting till the end. If you have 2 cause cautions during the race, we would strictly ask you to park it for the evening. The Coons rule or the black flag rules. Here in Vegas, we have a couple potential black flag areas to pay attention to. Vegas brings out the down pit road to avoid direct black flag possibilities. So if you get one, call it out. The one that comes into play most is the entering pit road after an incident. You have to pay attention to where you're supposed to be according to iRacing. If you're erect and trying to limp to the pits and holding 10 cars up, just tow the damn thing. Don't be that guy that causes 10 people to get black flags. Also, remember to pay attention when lining up correctly after a caution and a restart. It's the driver's responsibility to line up correctly. We're not going to clear any black flags for any of the things mentioned above. And watch the way iRacing issues a lucky dog. The pits might not be open when the time you pass the pace car. Tire spin is an issue here. We've seen it all week with this set, so be awake on starts and restarts. The leader controls the start of the race and restarts. The leader can go any time after the pace car pulls in. Hey, just for everybody's information, we're in the process of discussing new days and races over the next few weeks, so everyone keep an eye on the ITSR Facebook and iLeague page to see what's going on. The only thing I can tell you is Tuesday isn't going to change. So if you ever wonder why Jose is the way he is, I just learned this the other day. A fire truck arrived at his house the other day because it was on fire. So there's Jose standing on the roof of the 2-story building with a matador costume on, prancing around like an interior decorator. All he kept saying was, "I'm fearless Jose the bullfighter that fears nothing." So the firefighters had the net all ready for him to jump, and all he kept saying was, "I'm Jose the bullfighter that fears nothing." Well, after 20 minutes of this shit, the flames were scorching his ass, so he announced he was going to jump. So he dove head first, and all the firefighters yelled, "Olay!" and moved the net. So that's why Jose is the way he is, and I'm expecting next week for him to be driving Jose the bullfighter car. Doug, are you listening? These are all true stories, people, because I can't make these things up. So drivers, start your engine and have fun.
Hello and welcome to Viva Las Vegas Motor Speedway with the ITSR Twisted Cup Series, sponsored by Axo Sanitary Service and presented by MW Productions. Man, I loved the Raging Bull Jose Gonzalez joke that Stephen Herron just pulled on him. Man, that's pretty funny. But again, Vegas Speedway, and last week we were at Phoenix in the hot desert, and this week we're having fun at nighttime and getting to go all the shows and all the casinos that Vegas has to offer. And I know these guys are excited to race here tonight. And joining me in the booth, Evan Pasoko. Evan, welcome to the Tuesday Night ITSR Racing League.
Yeah, we're looking forward for a great race here at my hometown track, you could call it, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I was here this whole past weekend for the Cup race, so I'm going to see what kind of show these guys can put on here with the ITS Racing Series, and going to be looking forward to a good lap. 104 laps is on the board. That's going to take us somewhere in the range of 156 miles this evening as these guys start their qualifying session, looking to see if we can put down a fast time as we get forward to tonight's race.
Absolutely, Evan, and going to last week to Phoenix, where Adam Hiley would not be denied this time. Adam Hiley would win at Phoenix last week, and he would lead in dominated fashion, leading 91 laps. Chad Cole, one of the second men to have led the most laps to that day, would finish second. Jose Gonzalez third. Dwayne Vincent would round out fourth. How about this? Matt Lacrosse finished fifth. Brian Harvey sixth. Frank Busciella seventh. Neil Fasekas eighth. John Higman Jr. ninth. And Jeff Eden, starting in the 15th spot last week at Phoenix, rounded out the top 10. And Evan, it kind of shakes up the points a little bit here early on, but we're still early. You know, this is the third race into the season. You mentioned, Vegas, the Gambler, 104 laps here tonight. But Dwayne Vincent has the points lead. And he's leading by 1 point over Brian Harvey. John Hickman Jr. sitting third in points, tied with Jose Gonzalez, actually 2 back from the leader, Vincent. Eden fifth, 6 back, tied with Neil Fasakis, also 7th is Adam Hiley picking up that win, like I said last week. CJ LeVere, 8th, 11 back from the leader, Vincent. Matt Lacrosse cracking into the top 10 today with 9th spot, 13 back, and David Lanza rounds out the top 10 in points, but that's just neither hearsay, Evan. Again, these guys adopting the rule of NASCAR changes as well as the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series on Monday night. If you win, you're in.
And right now, there's only been one winner so far this season, and that's Adam Hiley, 7th in the championship standings. Right now, you talked about 7 points back for the current points leader, Dwayne Vincent. Now, that really not meaning a lot because you mentioned that they did adapt and take the new position and the qualifying as far as getting into the chase that they do in the Cup Series with NASCAR. So we're going to be looking for our first different winner this season because right now Hiley's sitting on 100% win percentage, going in 2 for 2. Nobody inside of the top 10 in points does not have a top 10 this season. That's why you see it so close. I mean, the top 3 in points, 2 top 10. So everybody else, I mean, they've been running consistently, and that's why we see these guys so close up there right now at the top of the championship standings, is that because those guys that are up there have really kicked off this season a real good way.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Evan, about Adam Hiley picking up the 2 wins. I know you don't know, but he did win Daytona, but they came back a couple of days later and took the win away, and so kind of virtually it still stands, but physically, or however you want to look at it, stat-wise, it does not. They took the win away from him, and CJ LeVere actually won. So 2 different winners, CJ LeVere, Daytona, and even though the results don't show it that way, and then last week Adam Hiley. Either way, Adam's in and CJ LeVere's in.
Yeah, and those guys are sitting 7th and 8th in the points, so that's why Hiley's not up there at the top of the point standings. That's why he's back there, because of that penalty. So let's see if those guys in the top 3 can get something tonight.
And with that said, we're going to take you to the promo video and to the track side of the National Anthem. We'll return soon here at Las Vegas.
Let's see if those guys in the top 3 can get something tonight.
Every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Gold watch, diamond ring. Well, I ain't missing on a single thing. Conference, stick pin. Ask if I don't know to do you in. They come running just as fast as they can.
Hey, look here, beavers. You better hide your wives, hide your husband, and look here, both of you hide your kids, because we're coming.
Every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Black shades, black gloves, Looking sharp, looking for love. They come running just as fast as they can. Every girl's crazy about a sharp dress. Make some noise! Clean shirt, new shoes, and I don't know where I'm going to. Silk suit, black tie, and I don't need a reason why. They come running just as fast as they can. Every girl's crazy about it.
Qualifying has just been nearly completed. About a couple of seconds here left in qualifying and we'll be done. Stefan Marinak, quickest on the board, Evan, with a 29.484. Not a lot of guys with fours though here. Only 3 drivers with a putting up a 29.4 lap or better.
Yeah, Dwayne Jansen going to come in the second spot. A number 13 machine going to be starting on the outside of row number 1. Jose Gonzalez starting inside row 2 in the third starting position. And Adam Highland, 15 machine, going to be starting 4th.
Rolling off 5th tonight is the number 4 of C.J. LeVere to the outside, the 21 of Matt Lacrosse.
Brandon Chaburko is going to roll the 3 machine off P7 outside him. John Higman Jr. in the 60 starting 8th.
Ninth quickest today, the 94 Frank Busciella, and Brian Harvey, the 66 machine, rolls off 10th.
Ben Burnett, the 37, going to be starting 11th spot. 12th belonging to the 10 of Nathan Little.
Douglas Wyatt claims the 13th spot, and the 77 claims the 14th. That's J. Randall Watkins.
Scott Simley, the 68 machine, going to be starting in 15th, and 16th belonging to the 71 of Blaine Woodruff.
Last to take time, the 17th quickest today at Vegas, the 89 of Neil Fasekas. To his outside, the 91 lining up, Jeff Eden.
Josh Cheney, John Wilco positions number 19th and 20th.
And the last row here tonight at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in 21st, the 98 machine, Stephen Herring. Famous quotes of Jose Gonzalez and the firefighter story. And to his outside, the 48 machine of Frank Kuntz. And here we go, 104 laps set for the Gambler 104.
Yeah, these guys looking forward to a great race as the pace car starts to roll up in front of this field for the one warm-up lap before we come back around to turn number 4, and we are going to take the green flag to get things kicked off here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Again, Marinak on that pole position is number 24 Chevrolet. The front 2 rows all dominated by Chevys, and then row 3 is all Fords. We're going to have to see how that is going to play into effect as well, and we paced through 1 and 2. Many things that we're going to be talking about this evening definitely is going to be those bumps in 1 and 2, but also coming off of turn 2 and coming off of turn 4. That car can get real loose if you don't exit the corner properly, and that could cause some trouble as well.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Jose Gonzalez told me before the race started tonight, Evan, that they're going to be tied in. It's tied in and loose off. And, of course, last night we saw a lot of coming off of turn 4 hitting the wall. So it'll be interesting to see if tonight, if it's going to be out of turn 2 or the troubles will continue to be out of turn 4 as the pace car leads the field of 22 down into turn 3.
Yeah, there's not an overwhelming amount of drivers as we pace through 3 and 4. Lights off top, the Ford First Racing Mustang pace car getting ready for the green flag. Not a lot of cars in this thing, 22, so we should be able to look forward to some green flag racing here.
And again, Stefan Marinak gonna lead us to the green here at the Gambler. He can go at any moment, and he does. The 24 takes off with a nice solid restart here to take us to the green at Vegas Motor Speedway here in Nevada.
It is going to be a side-by-side battle for second. 26 machine of Jose Gonzalez started on the inside of that second row. He's able to sneak around to Wayne Vincent coming off the corner, get the number 2 spot, get sideways in a 26 machine real early on. Jose's able to hang on to it. He drops to the inside now, opening the door for Dwayne Vincent in the 13 Cessna machine to get it off of 4 on the time.
Just back behind Vincent, there's a side-by-side battle. LeVere and the 4 machine to the outside, the 15 car down low. That's last week's winner, Adam Hiley at Phoenix. Behind them, the 3 car of Trent Brandon Traburco trying to stick his 3 Chevrolet into the mix as well. That's the battle for the top 5.
Still sideways, 4 machine might have gotten the wall. The 3's going to look to the inside. That's Brandon Traburco going into the corner and keeps it too wide as the 15 of Adam Hiley has the advantage right now for that number 4 spot. The 4 machine, CJ LeVere, who had control of that last time by the stripe, drops a couple spots on the outside lane, and this time by the number 4 machine going to drop back into P7 as a single file out in the turns 1 and 2.
Back behind that little group there's a battle heating up for 8. That's John Higman Jr., the 94, who Frank Bucchiella gets into the wall. The 66 machine, Brian Harvey, giving him plenty of room, but that blue McDonald's Ford got into the wall just ever so slightly as he begins to bang on the back door of Brian Harvey exiting forward.
And he's going to do a little bit of a run coming up, and now off the turn, Frank Busciella, the 3rd, this time by the start-finish line. It is a car lane in between those 266 of Harvey, pulls away a little bit going down into the corner as they work their way through 1 and 2. 94 closes the gap a little bit, tries to get to the back bumper, has to check up, nearly catches the wall. He's able to hang on to it, but the 66 of Harvey opens up a little bit of a gap for that spot.
After we got going green, Evan, it looked like John Wilco had to come down pit road and serve a penalty, so he is the man who's in the last place right now, 1 lap down. That's the 62 machine of John Wilco as he continues to fight here. Hopefully he can get that lucky dog and get back on track. But for now, it's single file all the way back.
These guys really just looking to ride again. 104 laps on the board for this evening's race. And it's going to be 156 miles in length now, as we're going to go at it side by side for the second spot. 26 Jose Gonzalez going to go to the inside of 13 Dwayne Vincent. On the outside lane, a little bit of bumping behind them. 15 of Hiley gets a little bit of a nudge from Chaburko. Chaburko looks to the outside. These guys real aggressive up here for the number 2 spot. And his 13 machine, Dwayne Vincent, looks like he has a little bit of advantage coming out of 2. Here comes the 26 Gonzalez, able to slide in line 4 now to hold on to that spot. Vincent runs a defensive line into 3 and is able to hold on to P2. And behind them for the 4 spot, it is the 15 machine, still able to hold off Brandon Chaburko 4 now. But again, 104 laps on the board. These guys got a long way to go. Some of them might want to be taking it patient. Now, I don't think the 3 is, though. Chaburko really trying to advance his position. Started this race 7th. He's sitting 5th right now, but he's knocking on the door for P4.
Still kind of early, but Adam Hiley, again, last week's winner at Phoenix, he's got 3 people in front of him that are hungry for a win early on this year. That's Jose Gonzalez, Vincent, and the man who's led from green to now, Stefan Marinac, out in front here, but not by far. You know, last night, Evan, we saw a little bit of strength from Chad Cole. He'd pull out of the lead and really just check out, but here, it looks like the cars are separated by maybe 3 or 4 car lengths as they go down into turn 2.
Dwayne Vincent has been able to get up to the number 2 spot. He got around Jose Gonzalez, so right now the top 4 currently sit where they started in this race, and Vincent maybe going to try to run down that 24 machine of Marinac up the front of the field. 24 higher coming out of turn number 4. Vincent's able to sneak up a little bit, and this time by the stripe when scoring is going to update. He knocked about half of a tenth of a second off of that gap between those top 2 cars. 13's coming now, half a car length. Separate those 2 in the corner, trying to run them down, still side by side for the number 4 spot. The 3 machine of Brandon Chaburko continuing to try to get around, and now trouble on the back straightaway. Yellow flag's going to fly.
And that's going to be the 15 car, 7th spot, Adam Hiley. I tell you, he hit the wall earlier. That's where he went from 4th to 7th, and then he got into it again, Evan. So bad night for the last week's Phoenix winner as he bangs it off the wall again down into the back stretch and hits the wall, inside wall there, so damage. And now we've got some smoke pouring out from Scott Simley and another car, the 14 of Josh Cheney, so something else must have triggered.
15 caught the wall, and that's exactly what I was expecting to happen. Is you just grazed that wall, coming to the inside, and he split it from overcorrecting it, locked up the brakes, and did a very good job of slowing it down before he actually got into that inside wall. 2 cars behind him that were trying to avoid that incident. 66 machine got a little bit of a nudge and caught the outside wall. That was Brian Harvey, who we saw running in tied to the top 10. He got a little bit of a nudge after making contact with Frank Busili as they both tried to scramble to the top lane to be able to avoid that incident. So those guys picking up a little bit of damage as well as leaders hit the pit lane.
And as leaders hit the pit lane, Evan, keep rolling the footage there in the monitor. You'll see Brian Harvey get plowed into from behind by Scott Simley, and then the 10 car of Nathan Little is going to get plowed in from behind by J. Randall Watkins, and then J. Randall Watkins is going to get plowed in from behind by the 14 machine, and then the 71 machine, Blaine Woodruff, threads the needle there, kind of so to speak, and misses out on all the carnage. But about 5 to 6 cars involved in that one wreck that the 15 Adam Hiley stemmed from.
Yeah, and that was just the fact that, yes, we were starting to get spread out, but it was still early on in this race, and the cars were still relatively close together, that once you see a car sideways, you're really not going to check your mirrors before you try to get out of the way, and that's how those guys could have easily gotten collected in that incident. Jose Gonzalez at a 26 Phonetic machine going to move up now into the number 2 spot as he beats Dwayne Vincent's number 13 Cessna Chevrolet off of the pit lane, so that change going to occur up inside the front row.
And as you can still look and see, there's still about 4 to 5 drivers still on pit road trying to get the damage beat out of those cars. So that's a bad, tough break for about 5 or 6 of those guys. Like you said, they were just starting to get kind of spread it out, and Adam hit the wall. Adam Hiley hit the wall one time and then was able to correct it and be okay. I think it just started to get tight on him, Evan, and then he hit it again, and then obviously the rest is history. But as we're pacing here under the yellow lights, let's talk fuel strategy here. I mean, if these guys can halfway cut it here and pick up some good green flag pit stops, I don't know if they can stretch it quite 80 laps or 90 laps, but they could definitely cut it in half.
Yeah, they could try to make it. I mean, you got to look 104 laps. If we do get a stint of yellow flags, I mean, we've already made one pit stop right now, lap 12. They could try to stretch this on one more stop, but it would be close if it was under green. I think if we get a couple more yellows, which some of these guys might be expecting, that could be the possibility, and maybe even the mindset for coming down now is try to get that a little bit of security taken care of. Don't have to worry about these 12 laps, kind of cut this down to now a 90-lap race or so, 92 laps from here on out to the checkered flag, and then try to worry about the fuel strategy from here on out, try to push it on one more stop. We'll see what they have to do, but I do think that would be the general consensus among the drivers. 18 drivers remaining on the lead lap right now. Brian Harvey last car on the lead lap, not currently on the racetrack. Josh Chaney in a 19th spot, 1 lap down. Scott Simley 1 lap down. The 68 machine sitting 20th, 21st, the 10 of Nathan Little 2 laps down, along with Jay Randall Watkins. Those drivers 2 laps down as they run right now. Nathan Little's 10 machine now being pushed behind the wall to the attention of the crew in the garage as well.
And Adam Hiley did receive an EOL penalty, so he will restart in the longest line here as more drivers. Stephen Herring leads a group down pit road to pit maybe for that security fuel, like you mentioned. Neil Fasakis joins the pits as well. So does John Wilco. And how about that? John Wilco, remember, pitted when we first went green here tonight. Possibly serving either a black flag or something that may have stemmed from last week, we're not sure, and he's back on the lead lap and sitting pretty.
Yeah, 62 machine is going to take 4 tires and fuel, so they're ready to rock and roll here. Lights off atop the Ford First Racing Mustang pace car now as we pace through turns number 3 and 4. It is still going to be the 24 machine, Stefan Marinak up in the top spot, the number 1 position, leading all the laps so far to this point after starting on pole position. Again, the 26 machine of Jose Gonzalez. We now see him up on the front row. He swapped spots with Dwayne Vincent after Vincent not quite nailing that pit stop there out of the yellow flag. That's going to allow the 26 of Gonzalez to sneak up there into the outside of row number 1. However, you may have more of an advantage if you're inside row 2, the 3rd spot, because that's originally where we saw Jose start. He was able to get around Dwayne Vincent on the initial start of the race, so 24 machine control car is going to be right in front of that spot, so we'll see who wins that battle for second, as Marinak is likely to pull away for the field here out of 4, looking for the green.
And again, the second time tonight, he'll pick up the green flag, and as soon as that pace car dives on the pit road, he has the chance and opportunity to go whenever he feels like it. He'll slowly lead him to the green, and there he goes, takes off. Nice, good restart for Marinak as Jose Gonzalez slips on the throttle just a little bit. Vincent to the bottom in the Black Dahlia Chevrolet. Behind them, the 3 and the 4s, double wide file down into 1.
Side by side for the number 2 spot, 13, Dwayne Vincent with the advantage. They're door to door though for that number 3 spot behind them. 3 machine on the inside. Brandon Chaburko is going to be going at it with the 26 of Jose Gonzalez. Gonzalez backs out of that, pulls back in line to the number 4 spot. Vincent able to hang on to second and move the 3 machine of Brandon Chaburko now up inside of the top 3 after starting 7th. His car looking very racy as well early in the going.
Yes, it is. It really is. Now the top, let's see, 8 here have kind of broken out to a semi-first pack, draft pack, if you will. The next in line is going to be Ben Burnett as he's about 8 to 9 car lengths back. And we've got a pass for the first time for the lead tonight. Vincent down low underneath Marinak in 4.
Marinak's going to try to make it work, coming now off the corner. Can he get it on the high side? 24 Exalta machine trying to get to it at the stripe. It is going to be nose to nose, but Vincent with a small advantage. They're going to go side by side still for the number 1 spot into the corner. Vincent having to navigate those bumps, starts to slide up. He pulls a slide job, gets in front of Marinak. He's able to get the number 1 spot. Do we see a crossover? Not yet. From the 24, here comes the 26. Now Jose Gonzalez going to go to the inside for the number 3 spot on the 3 car. Now Brandon Chaburko, they're door-to-door off of 4. Sideways is Gonzalez for the second time tonight. He's going to fall back to 5th.
And that's in that white Ford Fearless Racing machine that you see. That's Matt Lacrosse up on the high side. Did you notice when Vincent made that pass? Oh, as Marinac gets loose coming out of 2 there, the 3 going to sneak underneath him now going down the backstretch. But Marinac, I saw him get loose after Vincent made the pass, and there we see him getting loose again. So he may not like that dirty air, so to speak, that he's starting to see behind these drivers as he falls victim now to 3rd.
Caution flag and a fly. Trouble on the racetrack as one car is around and nearly collecting the 91 right at the start-finish line. It is the 26 of Jose Gonzalez, who we just saw running upside in the top 5, and he was going side by side with the 21 machine that you talked about, and that is Matt Lacrosse, 26. Jose, again, we've seen him get loose at a 2 on the initial lap, and we saw him get loose at a 4 that last time around. He did it again, however, the 21 was next to him. He went sideways, went down to the grass, did a good job of not really going down and hitting any walls. Ended up coming up right into the middle of the racing surface, though. 91 of Jeff Eden had to go low to try to avoid that incident, and Jose turned it back to the apron. 91 was able to get around it, but not the 71 machine of Blaine Woodruff, who doored that number 26 machine, and both of those cars absolutely destroyed back under yellow.
Oh yeah, he pretty much obliterated Jose Gonzalez, and you know, if not for that, I think Jose was probably going to be fine. He just got up into the door, the driver's side door of Lacrosse there. I guess both of them kind of going for the same piece of real estate, and I think he just looped it, Evan, like you said. I think he was going to be okay. You know, just come down and get 4 fresh new tires, but now he's probably going to be out of it, obviously.
Yeah, we saw him. He went up and over, and the machine that hit him, the 71 machine, pretty much instantaneously blowing that engine on that machine. So he's down. Currently, this pit box not quite behind the wall just yet, trying to see what they can do to the 71 machine. He's being scored 17th spot right now. A couple other cars on the pit lane. 89 is going to roll out of the pit lane, along with the 48 of Frank Coons, going to be exiting pit road as well. 15 machine of Adam Hiley, who was the first cause of the yellow flag, getting into the inside wall out of turn number 2. He's still down on pit road, trying to get repairs done to his machine as well. Also 71, we talked about him on the pit lane. So a couple drivers down there trying to get some repairs done as everybody else who is in racing condition at the moment gets back out on the racetrack, and hoping that we may be getting a 1 to go or 2 to go this next time by to try to get back to green flag racing.
Now you see that the number 4 machine, CJ Lavere, is out front of Marinac, Vincent, and the 3 car. He pitted, but he only took right side tires. Here's something else interesting. As the 94 Frank Bucciella puts that Ford McDonald's car down on pit road, John Higman Jr. is staying out. John Higman Jr., by the way, Evans, sitting 3rd in points, just 2 back from Vincent, 1 back from arch rival Brian Harvey, who sits 2nd in the point standing. So, interesting call here, but a Ford going to roll us to the green flag for the first time tonight at Vegas.
Yeah, that's going to be the change up in the number 1 spot. Higman in the 60 machine right now. Lights remaining on the Ford First Racing Mustang pace car, so at least 1.5 more circuits before we do get to go back green flag racing. And it hasn't really seemed like it as we continue under our second yellow flag of the evening, but a good portion of this race has already been cut off. Next time by, as we go for what would be our final pace lap before we go back green flag racing, that is going to mark the 1/4 mark of this race already, as again 104 laps. Next time that would be lap number 21, so we'd be approaching actually the 1/5 mark to go in this race. So you see when we get green flag racing how quickly the laps start to knock off and get going here, and that's again what some of these guys are looking for. Didn't start with a big field of cars. Only 22 drivers were there to take the green flag. Only 15 remain on the lead lap right now. Last car on the lead lap, Douglas Wyatt in number 5.
Yeah, and we saw that one big wreck, kind of like the big one that you'd see at Daytona or Talladega, that involved about 5 to 6 drivers that stemmed from that first Adam Hiley caution, and that's what, you know, that hurts. I mean, a lot of those guys just bam, 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 you know, domino effect, and it crushed a lot of them, front, nose, and tail. All damaged. And a track like Vegas, Evan, you know just as well as I do, 1.5 mile track. I mean, you need speed here. I mean, you know, you may not have to carry so much speed through the corner, but coming off the corner and going into the corner, speed is really critical here at Vegas.
Additionally, lights are off now atop the Ford First Racing Mustang pace cars. We are going to go back green to take lap number 22 of 104 here in the Gambler 104 at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway with ITS Racing, Intensely Twisted Sim Racing, and Twisted Cup Tuesday nights here. 64 going to be on the front row, 60 of John Higman Jr. and the 4 of CJ LaVere, and they're both Fords, so as opposed to the starting grid that's all Chevys dominating the front 2 lanes, let's see what these Ford Fusions can do up at the front of the field off of turn 2.
Rolling down the backstretch. A couple of these guys out front looking for the first win of the season, although we're still young. John Higman Jr., one of those. LaVere, the 3-car. Brandon Traburco. Vincent. Actually, LaVere, I'm sorry, LaVere, you've won. You won Daytona, that's right. I keep forgetting that too, Evan. You know that he was given the win. Finished second, actually, if you can recall the race. But Adam Hiley dove underneath, but was later deemed EOL penalty from something that stemmed earlier on in the event. But we're at Vegas, and we're about to go back green, where John Higman Jr. will lead us to that. And here we go.
Green is out, 60 Machina Higman Jr. able to pull away side by side for second. 13 of Vincent with the advantage on the inside lane. You see he doesn't want to get right down there on the white line to manage those bumps. 3 Machine is going to give it a shot. Brandon Traburco has been aggressive all night long, and he's going to get up now side by side for the number 2 spot with Dwayne Vincent working through 3 and 4.
Oh, and talking about close, Vincent trying to hang him down there, trying to pinch him just as much as possible. As you see the 3-car take that famous dive down below the white line, and no, they can't be penalized for that. Evan?
That was a wicked wiggle from the 3 Machine coming up off of that apron. He went down there, came back up, and that thing got real sideways real quick. Looked like maybe a little bit of net code, and contact for the lead. 60 of Higman, race leader, gets put in the wall from the 13 of Dwayne Vincent. 37 Machine of Ben Burnett's going to pile into it as well. Big Wreck Yellow is out, and top 3 cars, or top 2 rather, involved as Vincent sorted in there. And I was about to say we're going to go side by side for the lead, and Safety Machine really didn't give 13 of Vincent a lot of room, but Vincent was really nowhere near that bottom lane, what would be that white line anyways going into the corner. They made contact. Vincent checked up. He got into it. 60 plowed the wall, and 60 came down and absolutely was clobbered by Ben Burnett, and that changes things.
Yeah, and Ben Burnett was another one of those drivers on the lead lap, pretty much fine, and now gray, dark smoke pours out from underneath that hood. I'm sure he'll be done. John Higman Jr.'s blown up, and Vincent's pretty much done. The man who took the initiative and took the lead was, though, Brian Traburco. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break. We are 23 laps into this race, Evan. And we've had a couple of breaks here. We're going to see if we can't settle things down, take our first commercial break, and return to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where you're watching the ITSR Twisted Cup Series, sponsored by Exo Sanitary Services and presented by MW Productions. And we thank Michael Woolley for all he does, pushing the buttons. And wow, what a promo video that he made. I love that promo video. He has some cool graphics in there. But if you haven't checked that out yet, go look at it. We'll return. And welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where we're still pacing under the yellow here once more tonight. Leader, Adam Hiley. Evan?
Well, I mean, we saw him get into the inside wall, which brought out the first caution. We're currently still pacing, like still on the Ford First Racing Mustang pace car for our third caution of the evening here as we pace on lap number 26. Yeah, 15 is out to the point right now, and take a look, he does have that front end damage, and one of the tricky things about iRacing can be is it'll look like it'll have a lot of damage on the machine, but most of it will just be that sheet metal, and it won't really affect the car. And sometimes we don't see a lot of damage, and it affects a lot of stuff internally at a machine. So let's see what Adam Hiley can do here. He'll be on the number 1 spot, but so far I think the hardest charger in this race has been that 3 car, Brandon Chaburko, running in the 2nd spot right now. Started in 7th. He's not been afraid to throw that thing too wide, make some aggressive moves. I don't think he's going to want to hold back, and I think we'll see Chaburko trying to battle for that number 1 spot once he gets an opportunity. The question is, though, can he hang on to 2nd? Because, again, all night long it seems like the car that starts 3rd on the restarts inside of row number 2 is going to have the advantage because the way that the restarts work on the iRacing service, and so that is implemented here with ITS Racing, as that is the race leader has from the time the pace car hits the pit lane till the time that the sim actually throws the green flag to go. So he has all that time. One time he might go early, he might go in the middle, he might go at the last second. And you guys, especially the guy on the outside lane, you cannot beat the leader. You cannot go before him. So it really gives him a lot of control, which gives the car evidently behind him in that 3rd starting spot the advantage when it comes to these restarts.
Oh, most definitely. And, you know, Adam's got to be thrilled right now. I mean, if you look at Daytona, Adam wins the race, okay? Although later deemed he did not win. Then he comes back, claws his way back through Phoenix in the hot desert, wins that race. He's sitting first here at Vegas. I know we got about 70 laps left, 69 laps left. But could you imagine winning the first, technically speaking, winning the first 3 races of the year? I mean, it's just something. It's just an amazing feat. Although he is only 1 win, CJ LeVere is the 2nd win. As we get set to go back green for the 6th time here in Vegas.
Pace car on the pit lane, green flag, and you see Adam Hiley just takes off, but a 15 machine catches the Ford of LeVere sleeping, which allows Brandon Chaburko to hang on to the 2nd position, side by side for 3rd. Not going to last too long as 24 of Marinac is forced to pull in line behind the 4 machine of CJ LeVere, who has pushed up the hill a little bit for that position. And those guys single file right now, but behind them side by side from P5 going into the corner. Neither one of Jeff Eden trying to make something work on Matt Lacrosse. Can't get it done. Lacrosse is forward, able to hang on to P5.
You know, Stefan, looking at the 24 machine sitting forward, Marinac started in the pole position, and when he was out front, I mean, he looked pretty good. And it just seems, Evan, to me that once he got behind this traffic, you know, and dirty air, he just can't go.
Now he's really struggling the way that they're running right now. 15 machine of Hiley did a good job of taking away or getting off on that restart. Brandon Chaburko has been able to hang on to the 2nd spot. CJ LeVere still holding off the 24 of Stefan Marinac. Don't think that's going to last too much longer for trying to pull away, but I know the 24 of Marinac has been very aggressive so far to this extent in the race. And I mean, a yellow flag on the racetrack. Pace car pulling out 1 car with some pretty heavy damage. It's going to be the 48 machine of Frank Coons. Looks like he went around in turns 1 and 2 all by himself after getting sideways racing side by side with a 94 machine. Went down to the apron, and you can't really come off the apron in the middle of the corner. Didn't work, and unfortunately he collects the 5 machine of Douglas Wyatt. Hippie Doug Wyatt, who was just an innocent bystander, is going to get collected as well, and we're going to slow him back down again under yellow.
And Evan, dadgummit, if it doesn't seem like every time somebody wrecks, somebody else gets wrecked with them. I mean, you know, all by himself, the 48 machine spins out. Remember, Jose Gonzalez, all by, well, technically not all by himself. He got up in the 21 of Matt Lacrosse. But he wrecked solo spin, so to speak, and then wrecking through the tri-oval, and then bam, gets hit and plowed in, and it just seems like there's no solo spins. There's always someone else coming in. No hold, no bar.
And again, with the 22 drivers starting this race, and I said at the top of the show that was expecting a lot of green flag racing. So they are one-car spins. It's just a whole bunch of other cars that get collected in the wreck portion of things. And you know, sometimes you go to a short track and somebody gives somebody a nudge. It's normally the guy that causes the yellow that doesn't get any damage. In this case, they're still getting hit pretty hard, but it's just the fact that they're just really getting them at the wrong time. Again, it's not like there's a lot of drivers. We're not in a huge pack. There's no way to avoid it. It's the fact that these guys are just barely getting clipped, sliding up in front of those guys just seconds before they're going to be able to clear the incident. And it's really tough luck, especially for a guy like Douglas Wyatt, minding his own business, running the top side, gets run over essentially by a car that comes sliding up the racetrack, and he's down there on pit lane trying to get damage after running top 10.
How about this? Whole field pretty much pits except for the leader, Adam Hiley, electing to stay out. Didn't even try to fake anybody out coming down. He was pretty much locked in that he was going to stay out. But the 3 car at the last second diving down, noticing that LeVere and Marinette was going to pit. He did too, but he loses 2 spots, and LeVere will gain, and he'll start second on the outside of Adam Hiley.
Yeah, I'm surprised how strong that 15 car was able to get going on that restart with the damage. So obviously not affecting his machine too badly as he runs again #1 spot right now, as this time by the start finish line we do come to take or begin lap number 32 of 104. So a slower start to the beginning of this race. I know that the first couple laps got ticked off pretty quickly, but a string of yellow flags, cautions, breed cautions, even with the minimum amount of drivers. Again, 12 cars currently on the lead lap at this point, but yellow's breeding cautions, and we've had a string of them here on about our 4th or 5th one right now, which keeps us slowed and not at green flag racing for now. I don't think we're too far from it. I don't think the green flag pit stops are still out of the question. I know that we talked about the fuel strategy earlier on in the going with the amount of yellows that we have had to this extent. I don't think these guys are going to have any fuel troubles as we progress.
And out of the 22 drivers, only 12 on the lead lap. The next one being 13th spot, Ben Burnett. He sits 7 down, and so does John Higman Jr. And as the lights are still on the pace car, we're going to go at least one more lap around. And I want to mention Adam Hiley. Excuse me, not Adam Hiley, but Dwayne Vincent, who is the points leader, is now sitting in 15th spot, 8 laps down, Evan. Brian Harvey, who came into tonight's event, in 2nd. Harvey is 18th, 20 laps down. John Higman Jr., who comes into tonight's event, 3rd in points, is 14th, 7 laps down. Jose Gonzalez, who comes into tonight's event and 4th in the point standings, is 17th, 14 laps down. Jeff Eaton is the best guy on the racetrack right now. He comes into tonight's event tied up with Neil Fasekas, who's actually on the lead lap and 10th as well. They're tied for 5th spot in points, and they are both on the lead lap inside the top 10. How about that?
I mean, it's could be the shuffle in the point standings. Again, we've talked about it. We went over it at the top of the broadcast. That is how close those guys all are in the championship standings as lights are off on the pace car up at the front of the field going down the Nellis straightaway. We will be going green this time at a turn number 4, but we could see a shuffle in the points, and also you could say we look for our first different winner, or if you want to use the technical in the points wise, CJ LeVere picking up a W as well. Adam Hiley and the other driver with the win, 1-2 right now. So the guys that have been dominant all season long, sitting 1-2 on a racetrack as they run right now. So not necessarily 1-2 in points, but they're going to be looking to get another win, and it's almost a battle. And a 15 Machine of Highly answered last week with redemption from Daytona. I'm sure he won't mind picking up a second win. And at turn number 4, pace car lights are off, and this time going to dive down to the safety pit lane. Highly is off right away. Green flag flies. 4 Machine of Lavere can't hang on a second. Stefan Marinak at the 24 is going to try to stick a nose in into 1.
Yeah, and oh boy, Adam just kind of setting himself up there. He's got the good restart, Evan, but I really think these guys are going to run him down and leave him in the dust. I mean, these guys on 4 fresh Goodyears, as Lavere having trouble on the outside, but woggling that way on the backstretch as Marinak and the 3-car of Traburco make it safely underneath. And also, Matt Lacrosse going to try to stick his Ford into the mix as well.
Big checkup for those guys on the outside lane. Matt Lacrosse able to get on the inside of CJ Lavere. Lavere's going to drop back from 2nd to 5th that last lap as 3 Machine of Brandon Traburco, again, trying to continue his climb to the top, has been very aggressive to this extent in the race. Sideways off the corner is Traburco. 21 sideways as well. Nearly gets turned by Lavere. He's able to hang on to it as well. Another close call.
Wow, and look at Marinak coming, starting to hunt him down. The 15-car. Now 3 car lengths, 2.5 car lengths, 2 car lengths, coming into 1, the 3 car into the bottom, trying to make some sort of momentum run as well, but Marinak closing within about a car length, coming off 2.
Trying to reel him in is the driver, the 24, Stefan Marinak. Adam Highly in the 15, sitting P1. Don't forget the 3 also, Traburco. All these guys separated by about 1.5, 2 car lengths right now. 3 is going to close a little bit of distance. Coming out of turn number 4, he has a run on Marinak. Does he look to the inside? They get bumper to bumper. 24 chooses to go high. 3 Machine thinks about going low. Not quite. They're going to stay single file up front for the time being.
Oh, Adam knows. Adam's got that rear view mirror full of eyes. Oh! What a block! And Marinak comes down low for the crossover move, block the crossover move, kind of, as the 24 will retake the lead at Vegas.
Contact 15 gets into Marinak. It's going to be the 3 of Traburco at the stripe, throwing it way down to the apron. He's going to move up to the number 1 spot. I got to say that he's my pick at this extent because he is out there. He is racing fearlessly.
Wow.
Right now, up now at a number 1 spot, able to sneak by Marinak. Marinak is not done with him for sure. CJ Lavere now moving up into the top 3 as the 15 of Highly continues to slowly slide through this field, not having the advantage of the 4 fresh tires or a fresh race car. 1 car length separating the leaders by the stripe.
I tell you one thing right now, that 3-car Brandon Traburco has the MW Move of the Race award. He put one heck of a move. I called Marinak to the lead, and all of a sudden here comes the 3-car below the apron, below that white line, the flat surface of the track, and takes the lead. 2 cars, passes 2 cars to take the lead in about a stretch of 400 feet. Wow.
And this time by the start-finish line, he's not really going to throw it all the way down, but the last time, even when he wasn't making the move the lap after he made the move and passed Marinak, he still put it on the apron, and he didn't gradually slide down there to the apron. We say threw it on the apron. He threw that thing down, nearly got those left side tires in the grass, abruptly came back by the racetrack. He is being aggressive. He wants this W to say the least right now as he runs in the number 1 spot. And pace car going to come out 1 trouble on the racetrack. Looks like it may be the 62 car of John Wilco, who is going to have a self-spin at a turn number 2 again. Getting sideways and spins that thing as he goes down the back straightaway and locks up the brakes, but it does go around. And again, Michael, he nearly came up and caught the 89 car of Neil Fasakis. He was able to get around it, but that was nearly a repeat of what we've seen all night long.
Oh, man, yeah, you're not kidding. Yeah, that red and black machine of Neil escaping definitely there. And Neil's trying to hang on to that. He's already inside the top 10, obviously, but now he's 9th. And Neil is tied with Jeff Eden, who sits 6th currently on the racetrack, in the point standings. And that's it. The top 6 or the top 5 there. In points, the top 4 are pretty much out of this race. So I think your new leaders could possibly be Jeff Eden and Neil Fasakis as long as these guys have a good solid run here tonight. So it's been a good shake-up in points as far as points are concerned if you're a big points battle guy. But if you love to see a green flag race kind of guy, then this definitely hasn't been the race for you.
Jeff Eden is going to stay out on the racetrack along with the 98 of Stephen Harry. Chaburko leads the rest of the leaders who were the leaders before they hit the pit lane down. 4-tire stop for the number 3 car, and he is going to leave the pit lane in the number 3 spot. First off of pit road, 24 of Marinac follows him. Lavere and Matt Lacrosse actually going to get a spot as he beats Adam Hiley off of the pit lane as well. So now let's see what the 91 and 98 can do. Not going to pit this time by. That's going to put him on the front row for now.
Pretty interesting strategy there. And as we cycle back through pit stops and as we are pacing under the alley, we're going to go ahead and step away, take a quick commercial break. When we return, more green flag coverage of Las Vegas Motor Speedway here in Nevada.
In a world where survival is the only rule and feelings have no place, where winning is everything and weakness is fatal, how much difference can one person make? That depends on the person. In every life, there is a line that cannot be crossed without leaving everything behind, except faith. Once that step is taken, there is no looking back, and all that lies ahead is destiny. There is no looking back, and all that lies ahead is destiny.
And in the famous words of Michael Woolley, we're back. We're back. Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Here in Nevada with the ITSR Twisted Cup Series, sponsored by AXO Sanitary Services, presented by MW Productions, and of course Evan Pasoko up in the booth with me tonight on this fine Tuesday evening. And we've seen it all. If you're the fan of point shake-ups, which personally I am, I love the points battle. I love the point shake-up, and man, what a night for points battle and shake-up it's been, as now the 3-car being shown race leader here. That's Brandon Chaburko.
Yeah, those 2 cars that we saw stayed out, ended up coming down the pit lane eventually, so they're not going to be on the front row. It's just going to be some more straight-up racing. So to say, it's going to be the 3-machine in Chaburko. He's made it to the number 1 spot. Let's see what he can do with it. CJ Lavere still stalking in the 4 car. He's going to be outside of row number 1, looking for the green at a 4.
Cars roaring through turns 3 and 4 here at Vegas. Pace car's out, 3's off and away. The freaky fast Ford can't get it going. That's CJ LaVere to the outside, the 21 machine. Also Ford car, part of that Fearless Racing teammate there to him, is Matt Lacrosse underneath him for the second spot battle.
21 on the inside lane through the bumps in 1 and 2 is not able to hang on. 4 machine.
Oh!
Good run.
Oh! Jeff Eden, Evan. Nearly, yeah, they're all over the backstretch. The 91 machine nearly spins it out and collects Stefan Marinac. Marinac did get into the wall, but Jeff Eden able to maintain and save that car somehow or another. Somehow Jeff Eden saved that car from spinning, and we're still under the green.
I'm just seeing it now, and he had a really strange exit off of 2. He was side by side with the 15, but I mean, he was really down there, got sideways, locked up the brakes, and I want to say that he made slight contact with the 24. I believe he did, giving the 24 damage. Marinac, front left and front left, so all left side damage. 91 did get in the wall, but he did not spin it out. So that was a really good job on his part to keep that car, because that thing was headed straight onto the outside wall, and that would have been a lot worse. Single file top 4 right now up at the front of the field, but man, that 24 car really did take a beating from that tough break from Marinac, who was big and strong all night long, running up front earlier on in tonight's race.
Yeah, Stefan Marinac definitely damage, obviously, now, Evan. We just seen him go through the corner a second ago, nearly spun it out. Here he comes out of 2. Oh, nearly spins it out there. Almost getting into the wall again. He's in 5th spot, so if he can just hang on to it, it just looks like it's just getting harder and harder for him to handle it. There he goes, backing it down. He's actually backing a little bit more out of the throttle now as he runs solo in that 5th spot.
And he's not extremely off pace, but he is about half a second to a second slower every lap than our race leaders. The only thing is these guys have broken away so much. Traburco has to check up out of turn number 2, and down to 3 and 4 is going to be side by side with the 4. Fair can't get it done. You see he has to back it up in the center of the corner, causing the 21 Lacrosse to stay off of him, and Traburco is able to get sideways, though. Again, a very aggressive move down to the apron. He's leading this thing, and he's still driving the wheels off it up front.
Yeah, but bad news for that 3 car. Look behind him. You mentioned LaVere, but guess who else is there? Teammate to LaVere, Fearless Racing teammate Matt Lacrosse. So 2 teammates going at it. Here's the 4, sticking the nose underneath the left rear quarter panel of the Traburco coming into turn 4. Traburco still with the lead at Vegas. All 4 still with the lead, but now LaVere pulls in door to door.
It was going to be Traburco by the stripe with the advantage. What happens by the time we get down to turn number 1? Traburco on the outside lane, LaVere on the inside, door to door. 4 slides up a little bit, comes back down into the bottom lane. Nobody's giving it inch. 3 machine stays strong on the outside, still door to door. Down the back, Matt Lacrosse, he's sitting in the wings in the 3rd spot.
4 down low, Chevy up top. That's the 3 car. Traburco's leading the race. Now he loses that position to the 4 car LaVere. He'll lead this lap by a nose hair. By a nose hair, Evan. By a Michael Woolley nose hair. He'll lead that lap here at Vegas.
That is a 4,000th of a second nose hair there. 3 machine on the outside lane. Traburco runs out of room. He's in the wall. 4 machine. Not with the smoothest exit either, but it's going to be LaVere taking sole control of P1. 21 machine Lacrosse wants to do battle for 2nd with Traburco. 15 of Adam Hiley in the picture. He's sitting 4th right now. Now a wiggle by LaVere. Traburco splits them to the bottom, side by side for the number 1 spot again.
Look at him go! Wow! He couldn't make it stick, though. Man, he could have made that stick. It'd have been pretty. And, yeah, you mentioned Adam Hiley. Where the heck did he come from? He's in 4th. These guys have been going and racing at it, and it's able him to catch the field here. But Adam Hiley sitting in that 4th spot, continuing in front to watch the 2 go at it ahead of him. That's Traburco and Lacrosse as LaVere starts to look in his rearview mirror, waving goodbye.
He's going to try to check out. Traburco's able to clear Matt Lacrosse. Matt Lacrosse has to settle for 3rd. for the time being. Three Machine get a great run in the corner, but how does he do on corner exit? You don't have to load that thing up coming up so you don't get into the outside wall. You don't want to overdrive it in that scenario. Good job by Chaburko to get a little bit of time off, but the Four Machine stretches out that lead just a little bit. Three trying to make it work right down on that white line, and 3 and 4 this time by the stripe. What a run by Brandon Chaburko. He's going to get to within half a car length by the time we get to turn number 1, exactly 1/10 separating those two at the stripe, and the battle's on. Top 3 all bumper to bumper.
Yeah, come on, buddy. Get up there and shove him out of the way. Look at the 3 car coming. He's coming, Evan. He's coming. The 21 car's right behind him as well. Oh, the 3 car sticks the nose up under LeVere. It's going to push LeVere up the track. I think the 3's going to have to let off here. Maybe. I don't know. He ain't letting off. He's hammering it.
To the apron again is Brandon Chaburko. LeVere with the advantage at the stripe. You see the 3, though, he loses the speed when he has to come back up onto the racetrack. That's going to allow LeVere to able to hang on to it. Matt Lacrosse still trying to get that number 2 spot. Big wiggle from the 3. He still stays in the gas. Brandon Chaburko in the Chevrolet side by side, still for the 2nd spot. He is not giving up. That is a man on a mission right there, and he's still door to door with that 21 Ford out of 4.
Man, he is wicked loose. He needs to get up to that highlight. You can tell he's not very comfortable down there, or he's just really got that car hammered, really. I mean, that's all there is to it. He's just wheeling that thing through the corners. There he goes. Now he's going to sneak up to the middle line there. Adam Hiley, give him a little room. Give him a little room, Adam. There you go. Gives him room. Oh, and the 3 car nearly gets in the wall again. He's wicked. He's wicked loose, see if Evan.
But he's not going to back that thing down. He wants to keep going. Unfortunately, though, he may be hurting himself because, again, dropping back to 3rd spot as Matt Lacrosse has been able to finally get to the number 2 position, which allows Chaburko in the 3 to now be sitting in 3rd. 15 of Adam Hiley was able to catch these guys when they were all battling, but does not quite have the car to make up any positions once they get single file for now. So CJ LeVere wants to look for his 2nd win of the season after finishing 2nd at Daytona, being awarded the win after ITS Racing issued the penalties towards the 15 crew. So I'm sure LeVere wants to be able to pick up a straight-up win here so he doesn't have to listen to any of his buddies bugging him about how he had to win on a disqualification. He's got a car to do it. The only problem is that 21 of Matt Lacrosse, his teammate, is looking mighty fast as well, P2.
Yeah, and you got to wonder, is Lacrosse going to come up here and challenge him this early? And if he does it allow Brandon Chaburko and Adam Hiley to catch and close the gap back up? As we already can tell, Brandon has closed the gap back up severely. Matt Lacrosse about car length away. The 3 car about somewhere between the neighborhood of 1.1 car lengths away and closing fast.
Yeah, still about a car length, 2 car lengths, maybe 1.5 between these guys. The 3 Machine, Brandon Chaburko is able to close in on Matt Lacrosse for the number 2 spot that time at a turn number 2 and into turn number 3 and 4. That kind of distances itself back out to the way it was. However, the 3 Machine continuing to try to push, looks to the top. 21 goes high, 3 to the bottom now. Brandon Chaburko right back up in this picture, side by side for P2. Going into now 1 and 2. He's there on the 21. He's going to have to navigate those bumps, though. You see that 3 car getting shook around there on the inside lane. 21 on the outside. If he doesn't have to check up, he's going to get it. No, he has a wiggle, has to get out of it. Matt Lacrosse checks up, and now Chaburko back up the 2nd spot.
Both of them were loose as goose through there, Evan. I know you saw that. And the 3 car, a moment ago, Evan had one heck of a run on that 21 Machine of Matt Lacrosse. Now, get your eyes in front of you because CJ LeVere's up there. Don't look in that rearview mirror, Brandon. Look straight ahead. You know, you got to coach him up a little bit, Evan. You got to coach him here. As Adam, you can tell is fall off the pace here. He's about 15 car lengths back now.
You got to give him a little bit of moral support. Yeah, Adam Hiley sitting 4th right now at a 15 car, 0.6 of a second off. This time by the stripe scores get an update. He's lost a second now, 1.2 seconds or so off of race leader CJ LeVere in the number 1 spot. Again, these top 3 single file for now, but they don't like to stay that way. We've seen a lot of shuffling between these guys up there at the front of the pack, and I don't think that they're done with that by far as we race out to the conclusion of this race past the halfway point. Is this time by CJ LeVere coming off of turn number 4 as going to be able to take number 64 of 104. So next time by, or this time by rather, it is 41 laps to go remaining in this race. We talked about, again, the calamity corners, the bumps in 1 and 2, and also the exit of 4 and the exit of 2. And maybe a lot of us expected the turn 4 to be the most challenging, but all of the incidents, if not maybe 1 or 2 of them excluding, have been sideways at a 2. You clip the wall, and next thing you know, you're going around.
This time by, no, last time by, Brandon Traburco quickest on the racetrack. This time by, that 3 car again, quickest on the racetrack. And that gap that we've been seeing has been inch by inch. Oh, as the 3 car nearly gets into the wall there, coming off a 2. Loses maybe a little bit of momentum, Evan, but inch by inch, foot by foot, we see Brandon Traburco reeling him in, reel it in, Brandon, reel it in.
He's trying again, but he got sideways there and lost a little bit of time. You see the 21 of Matt Lacrosse has been able to catch up to him at this point. Lacrosse still running in what is the number 3 spot as CJ LaVere closes in on some lap traffic. The 48 machine of Frank Coons has to yield time, and that battered low Chevrolet goes to the top at a turn number 2, allows CJ LaVere to get around him. And the 3 machine of Traburco's really got to get out of the way from behind that 48 because he got sideways and he had to correct it and then make that pass. So everything's working against Traburco's car. It's, I mean, it's fast junk at this point because if he can keep that pedal down, he's moving. The only thing is it's on the edge of wrecking every lap.
Yeah, you said it best. It's fast junk. It really is. I mean, it's fast, but it's junk. And 2, he's also got to deal with, he's got a Fearless Racing guy in front of him, and he's got a Fearless Racing guy behind him, and Adam Hiley's too far behind to kind of give him that Daytona bump draft, if you will. And now the 21 car is closing in on the back door of the 3. So Brandon's got his rear view mirror full. He's got his front window full. I mean, the odds are against him, but the kid's willing it here at Vegas.
And these top 4 guys are what is starting to turn into the top 3 have really pulled away. CJ LaVere up at the front of this field, 2/10 back is Brandon Traburco in the 3 car. 3rd place machine, the 20 over to Matt Lacrosse, half a second back now as actually scoring's going to update. Traburco 4/10 back, Lacrosse 6/10 back. Then you have Adam Hiley, the 15 machine, running in the 4th spot, 1.3 seconds back. And then you got over a 10-second gap from that 4th place car to the 5th place car. Stefan Marinak and the rest of the pack over 13 seconds back from race leader CJ LaVere.
CJ LaVere knocking them down one by one. 69 laps now complete on the board. We're going to step away, take a commercial break, and we'll have the rest of hopefully the 44 laps that's left under green flag conditions here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. When we return,
Hi, I'm Todd Malmstrom, driver of the 75M Ford Mustang GT. This is what I do by night. And this is what I do by day. I sell new Fords, and I've got the best selections of used inventory that you could ask for. Come see me down here at Central Ford.
Are you tired of getting hassled at the dealerships? Looking for a salesman that knows what he's talking about? Are you looking to buy a new or used car? then look no further. Sexton Ford Moline, Illinois has the biggest selection of newer pre-owned vehicles, and Todd Malmstrom is the salesman you want. Todd is an expert when it comes to cars, and if you don't believe me, then you should see him race on a Sunday night. With his top-notch professional customer service and expertise, he will make sure you go home in the right car for the right price. No hassle, no haggling. Todd will make sure that you're happy when you leave the lot with your newer pre-owned vehicle. Remember, Sexton Ford may be the talk of the town, but so is Todd Malmstrom. If you're in the market for a new ride, then buy one from a winner. Todd Malmstrom at Sexton Ford Moline.
Perfect timing as we're back in a 3-car, Evan. Don't look now for LeVere, but he's there. Look at him on the back rear deck lid, tucked up, all nice and pretty.
And he's intimidating him. He took a look on the left rear coming out of Ford, took a look up on the right rear of that Ford up at the front of the field. CJ LeVere, he's feeling the pressure. The 3 machine by Chaburko probably evidently having a stronger car because he's continuously able to get up there. Ford's going to go low. Lap machine, they're going to have to force it 3 wide, possibly. No, the 4 of LeVere, who threw it down to the bottom, down the back straightaway now at 3 and 4, is not going to be able to get it. 3 machine is going to...
He's pitting!
LeVere announces that he is going to hit the pit lane. Here we go for this final stops.
He's pitting, yes. CJ LeVere pitting, as well as Frank Busciella behind him, although not pitting, which is kind of odd. Teammate, the 21, Matt Lacrosse. Was that a good strategy pit call right there in front of the lap cars there? I think so.
You could call it almost short pitting because he's going to be able to get back out on the racetrack. First car with fresh tires, depending on how long the rest of these guys stay out, try to make up some time. Now race leader Brandon Chaburko going to come down. He's going to hit the pit lane, tries to woe it down sideways. He cut it close. Brandon Chaburko now on pit road.
Yeah, he cut it close, but I think he got in there maybe just a quick hair faster than LeVere. LeVere, though, only electing to take right sides only. That's the call from the crew chief. Right sides only for the 4 machine. Let's see what the 3 does.
Chaburko into his stall, the right side of the race car in the air. 2 tires, gas and go for Brandon Chaburko.
Same call.
And now the next top 2 going to come down. Matt Lacrosse, Adam Hiley, who were sitting 1-2 after, again, those top 4 had took off. These 2 guys that are the top 4, the only 2 that have not pitted as Chaburko and CJ LeVere made their stops. Let's see what Matt Lacrosse and Adam Hiley do. Lacrosse into his pit stall. He goes too far. Has to back up 21 machine with a small mistake on pit road. Right side's going to go up on his Ford down in front of his pit stall. 2 tires. Crew going over to the left. It's going to be 4 tires for both Matt Lacrosse and Adam Hiley.
Wow, different strategy there for those 2 guys. You're exactly right. 4 tires. As you see the leaders go by, well, what will cycle around to be the new leaders, LeVere and Chaburko, they're neck and neck. But your new race leader here at Vegas is Stefan Marinac in that 24 machine, which Stefan is still out on the racetrack, so we'll see if that fuel strategy works for him or if he'll be coming down pit road here soon.
In the 24 car again getting torn up, and again started on the pole in his Exalta Chevrolet and just got pinned up against the wall and it into the data max rate. But you see how much quicker those guys that just pitted. 21 Matt Lacrosse takes off on the inside lane, is able to get his lap back the old-fashioned way by passing the leader. Adam Hiley did eventually beat him out of the pit lane because of that mistake that the 21 made on pit road. Looking like 9 seconds separating these guys between the guys that came down the pit lane before them and took 2 tires. We're going to have to see if that's going to work out and who's going to get the advantage when it comes down to it.
About 9 seconds. Yeah, you know, if a caution were, I don't want to say the C word here or bring out the yellow color, but if something were to happen soon, I don't think you'd see these guys come back down and take left side tires for the 3 car and the 4 car. But what about the strategy for taking 4? I mean, it could probably be okay if a caution were to come out. It could reshape the field back up. but I don't think they can run them down from 7, 9 seconds.
I don't think the 2 tires is going to allow them to make up that much ground. Now, if that Y word does come out and we do see a yellow and a caution flag fly, that could make things interesting. Because you got to take a look at the guys that came down the pit lane before Hiley and Lacrosse. Arguably the most dominant cars this evening, including the 3 at Chaburco and including CJ Laver. Put those guys on 2 tires, put the guys that have just missed a little bit on 4, and that thing could be dead even if we do see a late race caution coming down to that checkered flag.
And the 24th car that we've seen come down while leading the race, he did pit, and he took 4 tires as well. So a lot of 4-tire calls being called out onto the racetrack. But the 2 guys that I'm concerned about is that 3 car and that 4 car. Right sides only. And on the racetrack currently right now, in front of Laver, is that Brandon Traburco 3 car. Uh-oh! Frank Kuntz, 48 machine.
Oh. Frank Kuntz running 11th, and he gets into the wall again at a turn number 2, 1 car, and again beaten 90. Complete bystander gets caught up in it. That was Stephen Herring running P2 on the racetrack. Had not made a stop yet. Got collected. Those guys wrecked hard, and here we go. We're going to group these bad boys up within 20 laps to go, and I think we just need to sit back and watch what's going to unfold here. This is going to be pretty wild.
Oh, yeah. And, I know I did it, and I hate I said it, but the caution's out, and I don't think we'll see Brandon and Laver come down. But if they do, I honestly believe that Adam, Hiley, and Lacrosse would stay out. I really do. Let's see.
Neil Fasakis has to come down at the 89 machine. He was running P1, did not stop. Brandon Chaburco, CJ Laver down pit lane. Adam Hiley coming down the pit lane. Matt Lacrosse coming down the pit lane. Stephen Herring already in his stall. John Wilco is going to stay out in the 62 car, last car on the lead lap. This is it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the car at the front of the field. Has no tires, but all those guys, you can throw that 2 or 4 tire strategy out because they're coming into pit lane, getting 4 tires, making sure that thing is packed with fuel, and everyone's going to be on an even foot here coming to this race to the checkered flag.
Yeah, Burko for 4 tires for him, and Adam Hiley taking 2. Right sides only, and if you're saying John Wilco's staying out, it may be to lead a lap or it may be to stay out indefinitely, but if he does not, Adam Hiley will be your new race leader.
John Wilco was down on pit road when that yellow flag flew. He took 4 tires and packed it full of fuel.
Oh.
So the way the scoring is shown right now, not too sure. We're going to have to wait till we come around this time by to see if he is the last car on the lead lap, technically speaking, because he is in front of our leaders, or if he is actually the race leader, because if not, that yellow flag could have flown perfectly timed for him because he was on the pit lane, and see what happens with the 62 Chevrolet. So let's see, lights still on the Ford First Racing Mustang pace car. A couple more circuits around Las Vegas Motor Speedway before we go back to green flag racing and try to decide a winner in tonight's ITS Racing Gambler 104 here in the Nevada desert. So this time by the stripe, scoring is going to cycle through. John Wilco is the last car on the lead lap because he is in front of race leader, so he will take a wave around when we get the 1 to go, which means the 15 is the number 1 car right now.
Well, it didn't work. I guess it didn't work out as good as planned for the 62 machine, but at least he's on the lead lap. He'll get that wave around, and he will be the last man on the lead lap. He will be 7th spot. And I think we're in for a treat here. I really do. I think Burko, Laver, Lacrosse, and the 15 car as well fighting into the mix. Neil Fasakis in that fifth spot now. So we're going to bunch all these guys up. Wad them up, baby.
They're just hoping they don't wad them up when they get to turn one. Because, I mean, the incidents that we've seen collecting some cars, you're not going to see guys check up. You're going to see every car on the racetrack racing like Brandon Chaburko has been all night long, and that's going to be a sight to see. 3-car sitting P2, 15 of Adam Hiley. Again, looking for his third win of the season, or officially second win of the season after being disqualified in Daytona, made up for that last week at the Phoenix International Raceway. He's going to be looking forward again. Remember, he got that damage earlier on in the going, sitting P1. We've said that he's been missing something. Once the 2 wide up at the front of the field kind of faded away, he started to drop back at a number 4 spot. Let's see what he can do. Can he try to ride out a couple cautions and get the checkered flag here at Las Vegas? Who knows, but this time by the stripe, it does appear that the Ford First Racing Mustang pace car lights are going to go off. 62 Machine Wilco going to go around him, and we're getting set for the green flag this next time by to let these guys go for 15 more laps.
Oh, and what a fun, interesting 15 laps it's going to be. In the ITSR Twisted Cup Series, sponsored by Axio Sanitary Service and presented by MW Productions. We're 3 weeks in, 3 races in. Vegas, we had Daytona, we had Phoenix. LaVere won Daytona. Hiley wins Vegas, or excuse me. Oh! I may have spoke future right into the race. Excuse me. Hiley won Phoenix. We don't know who won the Gambler yet.
Well, you predicted the caution, so.
That's what I'm saying. I think I just spoke into existence what's going to happen. Adam probably will be fine with that, but I don't know about LaVere. I don't know about 3-car. I don't know about Lacrosse.
I doubt those guys are going to roll over and take that as an answer. They're going to go for it here. This is going to be a shootout and a wild one, to say the least, because we're going through 3 and 4 again. Lights off atop the Ford First Racing Mustang pace car up at the front of the field. Looking for the green within 15, or what will be 15 or 16 laps to go in this race. Let's see what they do.
Adam Hiley going to lead us to the green here. Nice, good restart for him. Nice, good restart for the 3 cars. He dives down in front of LaVere right before the start-finish line.
Chaburko was able to slice and cut off LaVere's machine, and the 3's been the most aggressive. 15 is sideways. What a save, Hiley! Sideways again, he's in the wall. 4 machine now. CJ LaVere splits the gap to the number 1 spot is the Ford of LaVere, but not quite. Here comes Chaburko now on the inside. Woo!
The race is off turn 4, down the front stretch. The 4-car to the outside. That's CJ LaVere to the inside. Brandon Chaburko in a 3-car. Down into turn 1, LaVere with the lead. 21, Matt Lacrosse closing the door. Marinac 4th, Adam Hiley nowhere to be found in 5th.
Wow, the 4 machine split that gap, and then Chaburko didn't even get an opportunity to arc it into the corner. Entered on the bottom, tried to make it stick, and just quite didn't have it. Here he goes again in the corner. The 4 machine on the inside lane. Chaburko doesn't care. He's going to run it now. More door to door. This time by the stripe. It is still CJ LaVere by mere fractions of a second. Now side by side again into 1 and 2. Once again, 21 Matt Lacrosse finds himself at a number 3 spot. Chaburko slides up in front of the 4 machine. Going to cross him over down the back.
I can't believe it. Did you see the run that Chaburko had? Gosh, coming out of 4. Here comes Matt Lacrosse. What's he going to do? He looks like he's going to try to pass his teammate to the outside as the 3-car maintains lead here in Vegas. And we're closing, knocking in on the door with about 15 laps to go.
Now can they catch the 3 of Chaburko? Chaburko, one of the most dominant cars all night long. It seems like once he gets out to the number 1 spot, that could mean trouble for these guys behind him, because they might not be able to get back up to him and therefore not even going to have a chance to challenge again for the number 1 spot. Let's see what Chaburko could do. CJ LaVere and the freaky fast Jimmy John's Ford sitting in the 2nd spot, slowly slipping away from Brandon Chaburko as Chaburko trying to seal the deal.
And we just seen the 21 car, Matt Lacrosse, get into the outside wall here, so he's going to be checked back out. Stefan Marinac move him up to 3rd, but the race is on for 1st. LaVere looking to try to climb back up into the leaderboard to that number 1 spot. Can't quite do it. Can we get a 3rd different winner in 3 different races? We'll find out.
This time by the start-finish line, Chaburko way down to what is actually below the apron on the front stretch, nearly going over the Las Vegas Motor Speedway words there by the start-finish line. Comes back up now and through 1 and 2 and coming off the corner down the back straightaway. LeVere trying to get whatever draft he can off the back of that 3 car. 1 car like now separate these two as they run P1 and 2. They've checked out on the rest of the field. Stefan Marinag in the 24. He is sitting in the number 3 spot over a second back. It's going to be these two guys to duke it out this time by 10 laps to go.
Wow, another battle shaping back up here in that 5th spot. A battle for the first. Also a battle for the top 5 is the 62 machine. John Wilco trying to put his Chevy underneath a Chevy of Adam Hiley. Also in the mix, the Mickey D's car. Frank Busciella, also Jeff Eden. This is a battle for the top 5 spot as the front 2 still about 2 car lengths away. Keep your eye on the 5th spot.
62 machine trying to get 5th spot, continues to throw it into the inside, but has to check up. He's going to hold up now the 94 car, Frank Buscilia III, who's trying to come up into this picture. Now sitting 8th is a 94 of Buscilia. 62 back to the inside. Wilco trying to get something done on Adam Hiley right now for the number 5 spot. He just can't keep that car stuck down to the bottom. Side by side behind them as Jeff Eden wants a piece of the action, has to pull back in line and settle for 9th for now.
Woo! Back up front, we saw a lead battle. LeVere was underneath the 3 car coming into 3, but he couldn't quite make it stick out of 4. Back to single file there, and still single file back for that top 5 spot.
Yeah, LeVere was able to get to the inside. What does he do? Gets up to the bumper of Ben and Chaburgo. This time at a turn number 3, doesn't go to the inside quite yet. Maybe he tries to set him up for a move off the corner, unable to get it on. Such a strong 3 coming off of turn number 4. Brandon Chaburgo going to have the advantage once again, this time by the start-finish line as we start to close in on 7 laps to go, and it was 7 to go that last time by the 4 machine. Trying, he is driving his heart out, trying to get up to the number 1 spot. So is the 3 though. Chaburgo on the ragged edge. They're still dead even down the back straightaway.
Number 3 car, Brandon Chaburgo, climbing down into the bottom spot of the groove there at Vegas in turns 4. LeVere about half of a car length behind him. This is the battle for the lead. This is a battle for a 3rd different winner this season so far. 1 winner is right behind him. That's C.J. LeVere. He won at Daytona, looking for the Gambler 104 here at Vegas. Looking underneath. Oh, not going to find room there.
Now the race leaders work in through 3 and 4. And it is the 4 of C.J. LeVere and the 3 of Chaburgo that are duking it out. You see the 3 kicks that rear end out just a little bit sideways this time by 5 laps to go at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Who's going to walk away with a championship and the win here at the Gambler 104? They're going to have to gamble on that move. They're going to have to throw it in, especially if you're C.J. LeVere, and hope that sucker sticks if you want to walk away to victory lane. Half a car length between the 2 and the 3.
Moving out of that 5th spot, by the way, John Wilco was finally able to get past Adam Hiley. So John Wilco moving up into the top spot here at Vegas, where there's only 7 on the lead lap, all the way back to the 89 machine of Neil Fasekas. But the battle's on, 4 fingers in the air that time by the flagman here at Vegas.
C.J. LeVere, again, he had that 1 move to the inside out of 4 a couple laps ago, but has been unable to repeat that, and this time out is going to be 3 to go. There are no green light checkers, so if a yellow were to fly, it is all over with. Only 7 cars remain on the lead lap, and 2 of them are trying to duke it out for the win, but Chaburgo edges out C.J. LeVere by a couple more thousandths of a second, that time by the stripe, to try to get this win.
Wilco now working up underneath the 21 machine of Matt Lacrosse, taking over that 4th spot, but look no further. Look at the lead. Look at the lead. LeVere underneath the 3. Can't quite make it stick. Has to let out of the throttle, and I think that may do it there. Yep.
Yeah, he had to go for something, and he didn't want to wait till the last lap, and scoring's going to update this time by over 0.2 of a second. LeVere lost about a 1/10 that time by. Still in the picture, but but that was 2 to go that time by. It's going to be the white flag. This next time to the checkered flag. Ford gets sideways out of the corner, has to check up because of that Armco barrier up there on the outside, the safer barrier rather, and it is going to be all Brandon Chaburko as he tries to stretch it out. This time, coming out of turn number 4, it is the white flag.
The beautiful white flag in the air at Vegas. The last flag we'll see tonight other than the checkered. And Brandon Chaburko's got somewhat of a slight grin on his face coming off too. He's got to hang on to her, and he does. One more turn into 3. One more turn into 4. Coming off 4 to the line. He's going to win at Vegas.
Brandon Chaburko takes that number 3 off. He's been aggressive all night, throws it to the apron, and victorious is the number 3 car, Brandon Chaburko, to victory lane in the Gambler 104 with ITS Racing this evening on the Twisted Tuesday Night Cup Series. Going to walk away and be our 3rd different winner in this 2014 campaign.
Oh wow! What a race! What a race! And again, the top 3. Brandon Chaburko, Lavera, and Stefan Marinac. Go ahead and just round out the top 7 here. John Wilco would come home 4th. Matt Lacrosse slipped into that 5th spot. Adam Hiley back to 6th. And Neil Fasekas rounding out the 7th place finisher on the lead lap here at Vegas. When we return, hopefully we'll have post-race interviews with one happy Chaburko, a probably happy Lavera, and a thrilled Stefan Marinac when we return.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks in terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.
And we're back here at Las Vegas, the Gambler 104, wrapping up here in the ITSR Twisted Cup Series. And Evan Pasoko has caught up with somewhat of a happy Stefan Marinac.
Yeah, he's down here, and you might not guess it by looking at the condition of his race car, but Stefan Marinak in a 24 car is able to walk away with a top 3 finish. And first and foremost, Stefan, you started on the pole. You were able to lead those couple early laps, and then guys started to get up to you. They knocked you back a little bit, and then you ended up getting collected in a little bit of an incident out of back straightaway. Walk us through what went down there.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a good race. It really helped that like a quarter or half of the field was wiped out in a quarter of the race. But yeah, we led some laps in the beginning, and we got involved in that wreck, and it gave us like 3 minutes of damage. But we were able to stay on the lead lap, and then when pit stops came up, first car lap down, so we got the lucky dog. And then by that time, there were only like probably 6 or 7 cars on the lead lap. So I got it probably a minute of damage fixed, and some of the guys just screwed up in front of me, and I was able to go through and get third.
And sometimes on iRacing, you'll see a car and it really doesn't look torn up and the thing's undrivable, and sometimes it'll look pretty banged up and there's not a lot of problems with it, and you do have your share of damage spread out all over your race car, and you finished 4 seconds behind our leaders, and we had a relatively late race restart, around 15 laps to go, so you weren't up there with the top 2, but you weren't dropped back with the guys positions 4th on back, about over 10 seconds behind. I mean, how badly damaged was the car?
It was pretty bad. The toe was knocked out somewhat, but it was really tight, but it would still snap off the corners. So I mean, I thought it would help me at first being tight because the setup's so loose, but it didn't tighten up at all out of the corners. But yeah, it was pretty badly damaged. It wasn't as damaged as a lot of other guys.
Almost a survival of the fittest, and a lot of those incidents came from turn number 2. Really was Calamity Corner this evening. What makes that corner so hard, and did you have any close calls with that besides getting collected in somebody else's trouble?
Yeah, the setup was really, really loose coming off turn 2, especially on new tires. And I ran the RSR race last night, and the setup was the exact opposite. So it took a lot for me to get used to it. But yeah, that was a really bad corner. And then sometimes the same would happen coming off turn 4 if you weren't careful.
And if you were able to sit on the pole, so qualifying-wise, you had the thing locked in. You talked about the damage. Do you think that maybe if you kept a clean race car, you would have been able to be up in a contention for that checkered flag and be able to take home that #1 spot?
Oh, yeah, I think so. We were keeping with everyone at the beginning of the race. Me and Brandon were battling out, so I think if it would have came down to the end of the race and we weren't damaged, we could have contended for the win. But it was hard to stay out of trouble tonight.
Yeah, for sure. You're going to be 8th in the championship standings exiting tonight's race, and know that your main focus is going to be getting a win to get into the chase for the championship. Your turn to kind of take over the mic. Any shout-outs and sponsors you want to thank? Who makes it happen for the 24 crew?
Yeah, big shout-out to Exalta, running this Jeff Gordon car. I forgot who painted it, but thank them so much. It looks awesome. I changed it back to 24. We had the 41, and that was really unlucky for us. So the 24 was a really lucky number for me tonight. But also ITSR and CJ for running this league so well, and Hippie's Paint Shop, Quick Car, and you guys.
And definitely that is the driver of the number 24 machine, Stefan Marinak, going to come home in the number 3 spot. Congrats on the top 3, doing what you could with the damaged race car, and we look forward to see what we can do next week.
Thank you.
And also down here on pit lane is CJ Levere, driver of the number 4 car that we heard Stefan talk about just moments ago. CJ going to walk away with the number 2 spot. First and foremost, CJ, you were in that battle coming down to the checkered flag with Chaburko. We saw you throw it down there hard to the inside, coming up on 2 to go. Couldn't make it stick and missed out by 0.4 of a second. Walk us through from that final restart down to that checkered flag.
We were just trying to chase down Brandon. We knew it's pretty hard to pass, so whoever was kind of out in front was out in front. You could really, use the momentum down the straightaway. And I got underneath him a couple times, but you know, I had to pinch the car off and lost momentum on the front stretch. That last time I had to really get on the brakes and ended up locking up the tires, and after I did that, it was pretty much over. We couldn't even wheel them in anymore. It was a pretty good race, you know, with Brandon trying to race him down and running side by side. I think we just needed a couple more good laps to cool the tire back off to get back up to him.
You're able to walk away with what is a second place finish, and leaving tonight, you're actually tied in the championship in a three-way tie with Adam Hiley and Neil Fasakis. So up at the top, you do have your win from Daytona after the disqualification with the 15 crew, getting that win, locking yourself into the championship, which means you can take a little bit more risk to try to pick up a couple more W's as you're essentially locked into what will be the chase for the championship later on in the season. Did that give you the ability to maybe drive a little bit harder tonight for that win?
Yeah, we're going out for the wins every week. We took the first part of the race pretty much easy, and we let everything shake out, and we got pretty lucky and missed some key wrecks and just put ourselves in contention to even have a chance to race for the win, and that's our number one goal every week, to be there at the end and have a chance.
And you were able to do so at a solid finish, able to come home in the second spot and put up a great battle with the driver of that number 3 machine. We're take a look at your Ford Fusion machine, Fearless Racing, with Jimmy John's on the car. Any other shout outs and sponsors that you want to thank?
Well, I got to thank Jimmy John's for sponsoring tonight's ride. Got to thank Axo Sanitary, Hippie's Paint Shop, Quick Car, MW Production, you know, Evan and Keaton for being in the broadcast booth, and foremost ITSR and all the drivers that come here to support us every week and running the league. I appreciate all you guys being here, and I hope everybody has fun.
And definitely, well, we appreciate the work that you put in to be able to get us here at the track Tuesday nights, and you guys put on a great show. So once again, congrats on your top 2 finish. Congrats on now being tied for the championship in the point standings, and we'll look forward again to see what you can do coming up next week when we head to Bristol.
Thank you.
That's going to do it down here from Pit Road, and we're going to send it now to Victory Lane, where Michael Keaton's caught up with a very happy driver of that 3 machine.
Oh, yeah, one of the biggest grins I've seen all year, climbing out of the hood car of the 3 machine. Brandon Cherboco. Brandon, bring us straight to it, man. What a heck of a race. You put that car on every inch of the track tonight.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun battling with CJ. He definitely gave me a run for my money tonight. Setup was very loose and it was fun to drive. Don't see that a lot on iRacing, and I had a lot of fun tonight.
Obviously, you know, Brandon, like LeVere and Marinac both kind of mentioned about somewhat about the wrecks that happened earlier on. You know, getting through that, you were able to get through the better most part of it, and you know, finally get the car on track, get up to the front, get in the lead, and then once you really got in the lead, it was kind of lights out. But then it went back and forth, and you got loose, and it got tight on you, and you get loose again, and you bring it down to the bottom. I mean, it's just amazing to watch, Brandon. You did a great job.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Once again, I mean, CJ did a hell of a job there. I think he was a little bit better than me in 1 and 2, and I think I was a little bit better than him in 3 and 4, and we just kind of kept trading off, so it should have made for an excellent show.
Well, just 2 races into the books for you out of 3. You win the Gambler 104. Congratulations once again. Talk to us a little bit about Bristol and any sponsors or anyone you'd like to thank.
Yeah, short tracks are definitely not my forte, but I'm just looking to stay out of the wrecks there. I'm sure there'll be a couple wrecks there for sure. Everybody knows how Bristol is. All my sponsors, Vintage Electric Car, Chris Crosby Chassis, Frank Lucilia III, CJ for putting on this league, and you guys for broadcasting.
Absolutely, and there you hear it, folks, from the number 3 machine, Brandon Cherboco putting on a show. The man out of Concord, North Carolina, taking home the checkered flag in the 3rd race of the ITSR Twisted Cup Series at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. For me, Evan Pasoko, and Michael Woolley at MW Productions, we'll see you next week, next Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time at, that's 9:30 Eastern Time, right? Right, CJ?
Correct, 9:30.
9:30 Eastern, 8:30 for me, Central, We'll see you at Bristol.
DGVertec.net's primary goal is to provide you with a successful website presence. They have purpose-built their web servers successfully throughout the years. The stress testing has been done so that they can provide you with an enhanced web hosting technology that they design for using future standards today for tomorrow. They offer 24/7 support for all web hosting plans. Their team answers support tickets 24/7, so if you have a problem at any time, an agent will be more than happy to help you. If you're not satisfied with your service within 7 days, then you can get a full money-back guarantee, with a 99 uptime guaranteed as well, with plans for shared hosting starting at just $2.95. It's clear to see why DGVertec should be your choice for web hosting. Just go to www.dgvertec.net today, your web hosting solution.
Hey, look here, beavers. You better hide your wives, hide your husband, and look here, both of you hide your kids, because we're coming.
Every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. crazy about it.